What's up guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. I might look very similar than I did in the last video because I just got done recording the last video. But for today's video, I'm very excited because we are finally setting up something that I have wanted for so long now. And I've just been waiting and waiting to purchase a set. And I finally found a great deal and got a set. And this is going to make working on the cars so much more enjoyable going forward. So without further ado, the new purchase for the shop is a set of QuickJacks. Yep, that's right. I finally did it. I got a set of QuickJacks, the jack stands. All right, so this is a set of BL 5000 EXT. These are the extended frame versions because Big Girl has a pretty long span between the two jack points on the side. So I purchased these used. They are brand new. They were brand new when I purchased them. They still have yet to be used. I did find them on, of course, as you would guess, Facebook Marketplace, where everyone goes to buy things that they probably don't need. But I found a pretty good deal on these. They were local for the most part. And like I said, brand new, so I know they're going to be set up properly. It would also help if you followed the instructions. The one thing was I got what I thought was all the fittings, but I was actually missing one fitting with the purchase. And that fitting is right here. I did have to buy it new from QuickJacks or bin pack. And there were some delays in the shipping due to first a mechanical failure and then weather, but it has officially arrived. And now we can finish setting up the QuickJacks and bleed them and try them out for the first time. So I have to take this car off the jack stands, and this will be the last time it is on jack stands. Yep guys, so here is the hydraulic power unit. I've already got it fully set up. Everything that I could do without that one fitting, I did do. I'm sorry I didn't record it, but basically I've filled up the unit with hydraulic fluid. I've already put the Teflon tape on and set up both of the longer lines. I've screwed in the fittings to the hydraulic pressure unit. Basically what happened is there's supposed to be two fittings for the hydraulic power unit and two fittings for the lines that go into the frames. I got three fittings for the power unit and one fitting for the lines that go into the frame. Honestly, I think that was a mess up on QuickJack's part. The guy that I bought these from never even attempted to put them together and set them up. Like I said, everything was brand new, so I doubt he even knew. But what we're gonna go ahead and do is finish set up on the last frame. So we'll have to install this 90-degree fitting, install this line, Teflon tape down here, and install the fitting that I purchased. And there's already air in the canisters. Everything else is done. So then after that, we'll start the dreadful, from what I've heard, bleeding process and get these things up and running. Got these things moved over into this parking spot, so I've got a little bit more space. So like I said, all we gotta do is finish setting up this frame and then we can bleed the system. So remove this plug here. And now we've got this fitting with the O-ring that needs to be threaded in. Now there's probably some oil. When you pull this plug out, just go ahead and lubricate the O-ring so that there's no issues with it binding or wanting to tear. There we go. And when we set this up, we'll want it to be like it is on that side, slightly angled upward, but not too high to where it's going to contact the frame of the vehicle. So just like that is probably perfect, right around there. Then we've got, well, this is a 17. No, I think it's a little bit larger. These just snug right up and that's a pretty good angle there. If we need to adjust it later, we can. So this line, this line will end up threading in here, but before we do that, we'll go ahead and install the fitting. Teflon tape this side, make sure it's all sealed up. What's interesting is when I bought this, it actually came with the liquid thread sealant, but the instructions have normal Teflon tape for the thread sealant. So just been using the Teflon tape, and if I have any leaks or any issues, then maybe I try out the liquid sealant that it came with. But let's go ahead and get this wrapped up, get this fitting right here installed, and then we'll go ahead and put this line onto the frame. Yep, so here's the threaded side that gets the Teflon tape. Got the fitting here. Got my wrenches down there, I'll grab those in a moment. Teflon tape. It's always, I know what direction is supposed to go around the threads, but it still trips my brain up as far as getting it in that direction. But I've done it so much recently with the turbo install and now the QuickJacks. Hopefully I don't mess it up, and of course it's fighting me right now. So you really only need 2 or 3 rotations around the threads. There's 2. Three is going to be somewhere over here. There you go. Make sure it's tight. Should be done with that. Go ahead and get this fitting and thread it in until it snugs up. This one, yep, that one, and then big one. Should be good. There we go. So now we're ready to go ahead and thread this side into the fitting we just installed in the frame, and there's no Teflon tape needed for that, so we should just be able to thread it right in. So this side, we'll move this cap out. This side just screws in, and of course I forgot the wrench over there. Snugs up like that. As you can see, that angle there is definitely way too high, so we'll go ahead and loosen this, drop that angle down. That's probably good right there, and then we'll tighten it back up. Now they say to run these lines underneath. Run it out of the way. Now I think we're ready to set these up. Let me grab an Allen key for the bleeder, and we'll go ahead and start bleeding. Now these quick connects are not the easiest thing to push together, but you'll just want to make sure that that nub there is lined up with the notch. And then you should, with some amount of effort, be able to push these things together. And now I think we're ready to start the bleeding process. So what we're going to do is raise them right below the first lock. Let them stay there. We'll draw them down. Do that a few times just to get fluid through the system before we start cracking the bleeder and getting the air out of the system. can see they're a bit jerky at the moment. It's totally normal. So now that we've let them raise to right below the first lock and they're being held up by hydraulic pressure only, go ahead and drop them down. Probably will take a little bit because there's no weight on them and there's air in the system. So might just need a little bit of time or some assistance. One additional thing to mention, after raising it up and lowering it, you filled all the lines with hydraulic fluid, so the level in the reservoir did go down a little bit. So I just topped that off. Now we're gonna go ahead and crack these bleeder screws and let some of that air out. This one, go ahead and switch to this one. A lot of air coming out of that one. Go ahead and snug that back up. Take it back up and down right before the locks and see how it is this time. A little bit better, but obviously there's still air in the line, so we'll continue the bleeding process and try to get the rest of this air out. It would also help if you followed the instructions and raised the jacks off the ground as I've done here. So we'll go ahead and lift them up about 8 inches or so, let them come down, and then continue to crack the bleeder, let the air out, and come up a little bit more, come down, crack the bleeder, and let all the air escape from, start with this side, and then we'll go to that side. Just got some old wheels on them to add some weight, but let's go ahead and check the operation. Seem to be pretty smooth, going up at roughly the same time. Locks are almost the same time. I'll hold it there. Check for leaks in any of the lines. Well, I don't see any leaks, guys. It looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and bring it down. It's gonna take a while because there's not a lot of weight on them. All right, guys, I think I finally got this thing bled. Sides are coming up smooth together, coming down smooth together. The side's maybe a little bit faster than the other, but don't think it's gonna make much of a difference once the weight of a vehicle's on them. So at this point, I think I'm ready to go ahead and take this thing off of jack stands and go ahead and test these QuickJacks out. All right, got these things positioned underneath the jack points. And just raise it up until it starts to make contact. Verify all these points are where I want them at. Good. Okay. Guess here goes nothing. That's the first jack point. That's actually a pretty good amount of space. I think that's probably as high as I normally get with jack stands. Let's go all the way up. nicer and easier than jacking the car up and using jack stands. That is crazy. I don't know what took me so long to get a set of these, but this is gonna make working on the car so much better. Gosh, you're not even in frame anymore. That is phenomenal. All right, let's try coming down. Make sure everything's good there. Sweet. That is awesome. I mean, it's so fast, man. That's crazy. Wow, guys, so I stacked the 2 blocks like you're able to, the medium and the large block, and oh my goodness, the amount of space, I don't know why I would ever need more space than this to work inside of a garage like this. I am so pleased that I finally pulled the trigger and got a set of QuickJacks. This is going to make working on the cars so much more enjoyable. It's so much faster and easier than jacks and jack stands, especially on lowered vehicles, and I couldn't be happier.